out there. Thomas Townley, Multiverse Tonight. Let's record a couple new podcast episodes. A little quick warning here. Find my center. If you hear the sounds of construction behind, in here, it's because there actually is construction. Right now they are getting ready to pour cement for a new cement floor in my garage, and then I guess they're going to get work on making a new driveway for us. That's our big construction project today. So right now they're getting ready to pour the concrete. Testing. So other than that, I always get nervous when I can't see my levels. Other than that, not much going on. You'll find out more. More what I've been doing the past few days in the show. Pretty much, it basically boiled down to going to. I went to see a movie. I've been taking the past 3 days off, so yeah. Anyway, don't know if the guy's getting ready to pour or not. So yeah, that's it. If you hear the sounds of construction, that's one of the risks you have to take when you podcast. You do occasionally get background noise. I forgot to mute the TV. Hold on. Echo. Mute the TV. Oh, I love Amazon devices. Which, by the way, it's Prime Day if you didn't know. If you didn't see enough commercials or get emails and stuff like that. Also, our retailers that are having sales. I really haven't picked anything up, so it's nothing really that screams by me. Anyway, let's get ready for the shoe. All right, let's go. Tonight, meet the cast of Star Trek Prodigy. A judge weighs in on the Star Wars sequels and the 2021 class of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. All that and more on the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. God damn it. Hold that, folks. Hold that. I forgot to switch my mini deck. Once more with feeling. Tonight, meet the cast of Star Trek Prodigy. A judge weighs in on the Star Wars sequels and the 2021 class of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. All that and more on the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 129 of Multiverse Tonight. Of course, your host. Wonder if we need a little music here. Yeah, this is one of the new things I've been playing with. Bring that down here. Yeah, it's one of the new things. Stream Deck has come up with version 5 of their software, and one of the things was they put a free to use music and soundtracks. So I've downloaded some of those. So I can do this. Or I can do this. Or if I'm trying to remember something. Ain't geeky stuff fun. Anyway, other than that, I've had the past 4 days off, or 3 days off. Today's the 4th day, and I've basically been relaxing, doing little chores around the house, keeping the plants alive. Yesterday we went to Hutchinson to go to the movie theater for the first time in about a year and a half. Last time we were at the theater in Hutch was in January of 2020. So we went and saw In the Heights, which was Lin-Manuel Miranda's new movie. And folks, go see it. It's an awesome film. It's very very nice to see. There was no point I was bored watching this. But also been working our way towards Comic-Con. It's in a little over a month. And it's a month and a half. Yeah, a month and a half away from Planet Comic-Con Kansas City. Looking forward to that. But other than that, I mean, really haven't had much to say. By the way, if during this recording you hear sounds of construction, we're getting a brand new floor in our garage here, and then they're going to start working on expanding and fixing the driveway as well. So, just putting it out there that if you hear some more loud sighing or something, it is what it is. I'd rather record now than have to wait, until the end of the day, and it just gets chaotic. So, let's go on to the Star Trek news. Simon & Schuster revealed new details on a new Deep Space Nine book coming out this December. Star Trek Deep Space Nine Revenant comes from author Alex White and centers on Kira Nerys and Jadzia Dax, and is based in the show's 6th season. Here's the blurb. Jadzia Dax has been a friend to Etam Pritt, the Trill Trade Commissioner, over 2 lifetimes. When Etam visits Deep Space Nine with the request to rein in his wayward granddaughter Nimi, Dax can hardly say no. It seems like an easy assignment. Visit a resort casino while on shore leave, and then bring her old friend Nimi home. But upon arrival, Dax finds Nimi has changed over the years in terrifying ways, and the pursuit of the truth will plunge Dax headlong into a century's worth of secrets and lies. Unquote. Now, Alex White has written a couple of books in the Alien novel series, as well as the Salvagers trilogy of books. And he said about his first Star Trek novel, quote, Star Trek has always struck me as a universe with a place for everyone, empathetic, intelligent, empowered, and vibrant. Those stories were there for me when I needed to hear them, and I'm privileged to tell the next set of all these years later. Unquote. Now, Star Trek Deep Space Nine Revenant goes on sale on December 21st. And we move on to news about Star Trek Lower Decks, where season has moved on to production of season 3. A post on Instagram confirmed it with her in a recording booth shot and the caption "Season 3." Now, season 2 of the series will hit Paramount Plus on August 12th. Meanwhile, on the other shows, Strange New Worlds is currently filming episode 8 of 10, with director Amanda Rowe directing the episode. Picard is also still in production, with John Delancey revealing he'll be appearing both in seasons 2 and season 3 for a total of 6 episodes. And production on Discovery Season 4 is currently winding down, with a number of episodes finished editing, aka locked, and awaiting final touches like visual effects and music. The 4th of July weekend is no longer home to Top Gun Maverick, as Paramount has moved the movie to the former date of another Tom Cruise movie, Mission Impossible 7, November 19th. Now, Mission Impossible will now open May 27th, 2022, and Mission Impossible 8 will move to July 7th, 2023. Now, this is not the only movie to be moved. Universal moved Pier Rabbit 2 to from July 2nd to June 18th. Now, other movies have been moved around, and the reason why this is in the Star Trek news, by the way, the following movies have also been shifted around. Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins has moved from October 22nd to July 23rd. The Jackass movie is going from September 3rd to October 22nd this year, which is the previous date for Snake Eyes. The Untitled Bee Gees movie from Kenneth Branagh and producer Graham King will now open on November 4th, 2022, and Disney has an untitled event film, and Warner Brothers has The Flash on that date as well. Now, why we're in Star Trek? Well, an untitled Star Trek movie is currently set for June 9th, 2023. So you got 2 years, folks, which will run up against Universal and 20th Century Studios, which both have untitled features scheduled on that date. So, your mileage may vary. Kate Mulgrew will portray Michelle Obama's chief of staff, Susan Shear, in Showtime's anthology series, The First Lady. The role will be a recurring one on the show. The show, created by Aaron Cooley and produced by Lionsgate TV and Showtime, will see the world of the White House through the eyes of various First Ladies. Season 1 will focus on Eleanor Roosevelt, played by Gillian Anderson, Betty Ford, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and Michelle Obama, played by Viola Davis. The series will also star Aaron Eckhart as Gerald Ford, O.T. Fagbinal as Barack Obama, and Dakota Fanning as Susan Ford. Paramount Plus offered a first look at the crew of the new Star Trek kids show Star Trek Prodigy. Now, joining Kate Mulgrew as a hologram of Captain Janeway will be Riley Azarkia as Roktok, a Brakar, and an unusually bright 8-year-old girl. Rook is a bit shy, but not when it comes to her love of animals. Brett Gray as Dahl, 17 years old and an unknown species. He fancies himself as a maverick, who even in the toughest times holds strong onto his unwavering hope. Angus Emery as Zero, who is a Medusan, a non-corporeal, genderless, energy-based life form. Since others would go mad at the sight of their true self, Zero wears a containment suit they made themselves to protect others. Jason Mantzoukas will play Jacom Pog, a 16-year-old Tellarite. Now, Tellarites are known to relish an argument, and Jenkum is no different. Now, regardless of opinion, he will always play devil's advocate for the sake of hearing all sides. Ella Purnell is playing Gwen, a 17-year-old Va Nagat, who was raised on her father's bleak mining plant and grew up dreaming to explore the stars. And D. Bradley Baker as Murph, whose age and species is unknown, but who is an endearing, indestructible blob with curiously good timing and an insatiable appetite for ship parts. Well, doesn't that sound interesting? Again, I still want to see like actual footage before I make a definite decision on this show or not. Now let's go on to the Star Wars news.
Roger, Roger.
Now, don't expect a spectral visit by Qui-Gon Jinn in Disney Plus's Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Liam Neeson was a guest star on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and when asked about a rumored return, Neeson said, quote, "I heard Ewan McGregor was going to do a series. No, I don't think so. No, I haven't been approached," unquote. Now, of course, Kimmel thought that Neeson was just putting one over on him, so I guess we'll just have to wait for proof next year. However, we do know that there will be stormtroopers. The star Ewan McGregor told Variety, quote, "I don't think I'd be giving away a secret. I've got to be so careful. There's no secret to when the series is being set. But I had to walk past 2 stormtroopers. I realized I've never acted with a stormtrooper because mine were clones, you know. It was the clone army, so I'd never seen a stormtrooper. So I was walking past them in the scene. I turned around, and I was 6 years old again. Insane. I was feeling like I was 6 again, or something, because I'm so close to one and I got a fright, you know. So crazy. Then I asked someone, were there stormtroopers in my films? Because I don't think I've seen a stormtrooper for real before. They were like, no. They weren't stormtroopers, they were clones. And Jawas. I had never seen with a little Jawa," unquote. Now, the show will take place halfway between episodes 3 and 4. He also revealed that to actor Pedro Pascal in an interview on the Actors on Actors podcast that The Mandalorian is what got Ewan interested in Star Wars again. "It pulled me back into the Star Wars world, the Mandalorian series, in a way I didn't expect. It blew me away how much I loved it." He shared, and Pascal replied, "The first thing I noticed when I started meeting with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni was that they were finding a way to totally realize their love for Star Wars. All of our love for Star Wars. And so creatively, to step into something, it felt so safe. It was so clear to me that they knew what they were doing, starting with their heart being in the right place and doing it with a lot of love. I just came directly from our set, so with a lot of love," unquote. McGregor also shared, "I just came directly from our set on the Kenobi series, and I'm working with so many of your crew from The Mandalorian. In fact, Deborah Chow is directing all of our series. I know she directed episodes on your first season. I'm having such an amazing time down there with that incredible technology and not being in front of too much green screen and blue screen," unquote. Now, this is an amusing story. A federal judge declared that the 2 most recent Star Wars movies were mediocre in a ruling involving Wesson Oil. The case involving ConAgra Foods revolved around the new owner of the oil brand and if they can resume using the 100% natural label anytime it wishes, thereby depriving this class of people of any value theoretically afforded by the injunction. ConAgra thus essentially agreed to do something over which it lacks the power to do. The Star Wars mention comes from the ruling from Judge Kenneth K. Lee, who wrote in his opinion, quote, "Under the settlement, ConAgra agreed to refrain from marketing Wesson Oil as 100% natural. That sounds great, except that ConAgra has already abandoned that strategy in 2017, 2 years before the parties hammered out their agreement, for reasons it claims were unrelated to this or any other litigation. Even worse, ConAgra's promise not to use the phrase 100% natural on Wesson Oil appears meaningless because ConAgra no longer owns Wesson Oil. In reality, this promise is about as meaningful and enduring as a proposal in the final rose ceremony on The Bachelor. Simply put, Richardson, the new owner of Wesson Oil, can resume using the 100% natural label at any time it wishes, thereby depriving the class of a value theoretically afforded by the injunction. ConAgra thus essentially agreed to do something over which it lacks the power to do. This is like George Lucas promising no more mediocre or schlocky Star Wars sequels shortly after selling the franchise to Disney. Such a promise would be illusionary, unquote. Now, in the footnote, he wrote, quote, 5 as evident by Disney's production of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, unquote. Burn. It was decided in favor of Richardson International, who can now call the oil 100% natural. Now let's go on to the geek news. Paramount Pictures is looking to keep Jeff Nichols in their portfolio. Deadline reports that the company is in development of a new as yet titled project from the filmmaker of A Quiet Place. Nichols will write and direct. Now, Nichols is working on another film for the Quiet Place franchise, which is due in theaters on March 31st, 2023. Netflix will be making the sequel to Robbie and Stephen Amell's Code 8 sci-fi thriller, and it's not called Code 9, but the imaginative Code 8 Part 2. The film from XYZ Films marks Netflix's first English-language original feature from Canada. Jeff Chan, who directed the first one, will direct the sequel with the Amell brothers reprising their roles. Code 8 Part 2 from Collective Pictures sees a teenage girl with abnormal abilities, after witnessing the murder of her brother, seek the help of an ex-con, played by Robbie Amell, and his former partner in crime, played by Stephen Amell. Together, they face a unit of corrupt police officials who deploy advanced robotic technology to prevent themselves from being exposed. No release date has been announced. Rob Zombie will be directing a movie based on The Munsters. The heavy metal musician turned director confirmed that he will write and direct the show, the movie based on the 60s sitcom. Now, Zombie wrote on Instagram, quote, "Attention boils and ghouls. The rumors are true. My next film project will be one I've been chasing for 20 years, The Munsters. Stay tuned for exciting details as they progress." Unquote. Now, the original The Munsters TV series ran for 70 episodes from 1964 to 1966 and starred Fred Gwynne, Yvonne DiCarlo, Al Lewis, Beverly Owen, who's later replaced by Pat Priest, and Butch Patrick. I really don't know about that. What to think about this. I guess we'll have to see what he does with it. If it's like a faithful adaptation, or if he goes all, Halloween on it. Kevin Bacon will be playing the role of the villain in the Legendary Pictures reboot of the classic Troma character, the Toxic Avenger. He will be joining Peter Dinklage, Jacob Tremblay, and Taylor Page now when the movie gets started filming in Bulgaria later this month. The Toxic Avenger is about a struggling everyday man who gets turned into a mutant freak when he gets pushed into a vat of toxic waste, going from shunned outcast to underdog hero in the quest to save his son, his friends, and his community from the faces of corruption and greed. Westworld Season 4 will see Aurora Perrineau joining the cast for a recurring role. Now, her character is still unknown, but Deadline is reporting that she's expected to show up in at least 5 episodes. Perrineau was previously on Fox's Prodigal Son, which just got canceled. Blackula is being rebooted. A reboot of the classic 70s blaxploitation horror classic is being brought back to life by MGM, Braun, and Hidden Empire film groups Dion and Roxanne Event Taylor. The 1972 original starred William Marshall as Blackula and was directed by William Crane and had a sequel a year later with Scream, Blackula, Scream. Now, the reboot will pick up the story from the sequel. Now, if you've never seen it, here's the description, quote, "Blackula is an ancient African prince who is cursed by Dracula after he fails to agree to end the slave trade. Blackula is entombed and awakens 200 years later, ready to avenge the death of his ancestors and of those responsible for robbing his people of their work, culture, and heritage, as they appropriate it for profit." Unquote. The remake for Stephen King's Christine has found its director in Brian Fuller. Fuller has been attached to write the new adaptation about a 1958 Plymouth Fury with a taste for blood. The movie will be produced by Sony Pictures and Blumhouse. Now, the original adaptation was made in 1983 and was directed by John Carpenter. Now, a little Hollywood news for you. The Hollywood Walk of Fame will be getting some new stars this year. Now, included in this year's inductees will be, for the motion picture category, Francis Ford Coppola, Macaulay Culkin, William Dafoe, Salma Hayek, James Hong, Helen Hunt, Michael B. Jordan, Regina King, Ray Liotta, Ewan McGregor, Adam McKay, Jason Momoa, Tessa Thompson, and a posthumous star for Carrie Fisher. Going in on television will be Brian Allen, Greg Berlanti, Ricky Gervais, Peter Krause, Robert Odenkirk, Holly Robinson Peete, Norman Reedus, Tracy Ellis Ross, Gene Smart, Ming-Na Wen, and Kenan Thompson. On recording will be the Black Eyed Peas, George E. Clinton Jr., Ashanti Douglas, DJ Khaled, Avril Lavigne, Los Serranos del Norte, Martha Reeves, and Ermi's Nipsey Hussle in a posthumous honor. And for live theater / live performance, Patti LuPone, Marilyn McCoo, and Billy Davis Jr., and Angela Vale. For radio will be Richard Blade, and for sports entertainment will be Michael Strahan. Congratulations to all those who will be honored. And to close out today, a sad note and an update to a story I covered on the last Sci-Fi Edition. Film and TV actor Lisa Baines has sadly succumbed to her injuries that she sustained in a hit-and-run accident. The actress was crossing the street in the crosswalk near Lincoln Center when she was struck by a red and black scooter that blew through a red light. The driver has yet to be found. Now, Lisa Baines was born on July 9th, 1955, and acted in the stage, movies, and television up to her death. She acted in such movies as Cocktail, Young Guns, and Legally Blonde, and TV shows like Spencer for Hire, L.A. Law, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Frasier, One Life to Live, Son of the Beach, King of Queens, and The Orville. She was 65 years old. And that brings us to the end of the sci-fi news. Now be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute financially to the show, please do. Go out and check out our show note, our coffee, our Patreon, and our glow.fm links over at sci-fi4me.com, as well as the show notes, our link to the TeePublic store, and a lot more. I plan on doing some things over there. If you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends, and if you're brand new to the show, please be sure to hit the subscribe, like, or follow, and leave us with some feedback and let us know how we're doing. Special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the Sci-Fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in 2 days with a brand new comic book edition, and in 2 weeks with a brand new sci-fi edition. Now please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions, copyright 2021. All rights reserved. Alright, folks. We'll take a little break here. The cement truck has just left. Let's see what they did. hooks, they are all done. Pouring the concrete. For the floor. Now the part where they smooth it out and stuff like that. It already looks smooth, but I'm sure there's more to that than that. So that's pretty nice. So I'm guessing it'll be. That's probably all to do today. Once I get done with that, and then I bet you tomorrow they'll come back and take up the driveway and do that work. So. Alright, so. So let's get on. You know, I should have taken like a whole week off. Probably should, but that's just not me. Yeah. I might have 60 hours of paid time off that I haven't used. But and I'll use more of it in August when we go to Planet Comic-Con. Go. Let's see all the stuff there. So far, they have Jodie Benson from The Little Mermaid, Booker T from WWE, the voice cast from the animated show Ruby, Kate Cassidy from Arrow. Love her voice talent for anime. Diamond Dallas Page, Lou Ferrigno, Sam Jones from Flash Gordon and Ted. That's one I'm really interested to see, because I've been close to getting his autograph, but never actually gotten there. Jerry Lawler from WWE. A couple of kids from Stranger Things. Rachel Scarsden from Batwoman. Brent Spiner will be coming back. Too bad. There were some that were going to appear in March last year that are not coming for this show. Hopefully they'll come in the future. Adam Savage was supposed to be there. He's not coming to this one. Phil Lamar was supposed to be there. John Cleese and Kevin Conroy. But it is what it is. And I'll be happy. I'll especially be happy if they'll give me a press pass. But where they do or they don't is groovy by me. Anyway, let's get on with the comic book edition, shall we? All right. Tonight, Larry Hama returns to Wolverine. Meet the cast of DC's Super Pets, and remembering Frank Bonner and Ned Beatty. All that and more on the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello. And welcome to Multiverse Tonight, episode 130! Anyway, I really have nothing to say. I mean, there's not a whole, I want to say that is not, for the show. Been having a few days off, playing Star Trek Online. Thinking about what I'm going to do with that $20 computer that I got a few weeks ago, which I think I'm going to turn to a server of some kind. Basically, I've just been kind of, hanging out, waiting, growing my tomatoes, just living. But let's just go on. We'll talk some Marvel news. The Disney Plus She-Hulk series has cast The Good Place's Jamila Jamil in a major role. Now, Variety has confirmed this. What role it isn't exactly known yet, but it's suspected that she'll be playing Marvel's supervillain Titania, who has frequently matched muscle with She-Hulk in the comics. Sony has to move fast to counteract remarks by F9 star Tyrese Gibson about Morbius' status in the universe. Now, apparently, the oops happened when an interview with comicbook.com that the actor had, who is also in the Sony Pictures Morbius movie, said when asked if Morbius was in the MCU, he said, quote, yes. Then, when pressed further, asking if he thought the Avengers were part of this world, he also replied yes, unquote. Now, unfortunately, Sony's Marvel characters are not in Disney's MCU. Sony later put out a statement correcting the actor's gaffe. Also, we might want to heap some shame on the interviewer at comicbook.com for asking that question. I certainly wouldn't have asked a question like that. For shame. Marvel's Spidey and His Amazing Friends, a series for preschoolers, is coming to Disney Junior on August 6th. The show will be simulcast on both Disney Channel and Disney Junior at 9 Eastern and Pacific in the morning. The show will follow Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy as they are joined by other heroes like Hulk and Black Panther to defeat villains like Rhino, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin and learn how teamwork can save the day. The series voice cast includes Benjamin Valick as Peter Parker, Lilia Sanfilippo as Gwen Stacy, and Jakari Frazier as Miles Morales. The series will be available on Disney Now on Friday, August 6th, and will be coming to Disney Plus sometime later. Legendary writer Larry Hama, along with artist Billy Tan, will be bringing a brand new classic Wolverine and Jubilee team-up to X-Men Legends number 7. Larry, who has had a long run on Wolverine in the 90s, and says this story harkens back to those days. As, quote, when two young mutants disappear, Wolverine and Jubilee set off for Japan to track them down. But Lady Deathstrike and the Hand have their own designs on the duo, and it'll take no small measure of blood, sweat, and adamantium to change their mind, kicking off a deadly international mutant conflict, unquote. Now, X-Men Legends number 7 hits stands in September. Now, let's go on to the DC news. The possible Blue Beetle movie that's been hinted at, but now put on and not put on any sure footing yet, might apparently be going to HBO Max. According to the Los Angeles Times, in a report about Warner Media's movie strategy, it listed Blue Beetle and Batgirl as films that are being made exclusively for the company's streaming service. The Blue Beetle movie is supposed to be directed by Charm City Kings Angel Manuel Soto and written by Gareth Dunnett Alcor, and would follow Jamie Reese as the main character. DC's League of Super Pets movie has added a starting lineup to it of star power to voice characters in the movie. Joining Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be Kevin Hart, Kate McKinnon, John Krasinski, Vanessa Bayer, Natasha Lyonne, Diego Luna, and Keanu Reeves. Now, Jared Stern has penned the script for the movie and will be co-directing it with Sam Levine. The movie is due out on May 20th, 2022. Now, you'll want to stay through the credits for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad movie, as the director has confirmed that there will be a post-credit scene on the movie. Now, in response to the question if it'll have one, he responded, quote, "I hope this isn't the most important question, as I think the movie itself is what matters most, but yes. Hashtag The Suicide Squad." Aquaman 2 now has an official title. The sequel will now be called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The news was revealed by filmmaker James Wan, and the movie is now in pre-production stage and stars Jason Momoa with Amber Heard and Patrick Wilson expected back as well. Now, the original one was the most successful DC Films movie outside the Dark Knight trilogy, grossing more than $1 billion. And that brings us to the end of the DC Comics news. Now let's go on to the geek news. Jim Mickle, the co-creator and showrunner on Netflix's Sweet Tooth, will be directing God Country, based on a comic written by Donnie Coates and published by Image Comics. God Country tells the story of Emmett Quinlan, an old widower afflicted with dementia and violent outbursts. When a tornado hits his West Texas town, Quinlan is rejuvenated thanks to an enchanted sword he finds in the wreckage. Which is good, as a host of dastardly creatures are about to descend on what remains of the town. Cates wrote the script for the adaptation, which is being produced by Lee Kramer and John Kramer of Aftershock Media. Mickle will also produce. John Hamm will star in a reboot of the Fletch movie series. Now, Chevy Chase played the wisecracking reporter in the original Fletch in 1985, and the sequel, Fletch Lives, in 1989. Now, since then, the Fletch series has been laid fallow, with everyone from Harvey Weinstein to Kevin Smith to Jason Sudeikis having tried at one point or another to make a new one. Finally, last year it was announced that the character might finally be given another chance at the silver screen. Now, this new movie will be called Confess Fletch and will be directed by Greg Montola from a Zev Burrows script. John Hamm will also produce the film. This movie will be adapted from the original novel by Gregory MacDonald. The logline for the Fletch reboot reads, quote, "In a mysterious chain of wild events, Fletch finds himself in the middle of multiple murders, one of which pins him as a prime suspect. While on a quest to prove his innocence, Fletch is tasked with finding his fiancee's stolen art collection, the only inheritance she's acquired after her father goes missing and is presumed dead." Unquote. The movie goes in front of the cameras this month. Mindy Kaling's Velma series on HBO Max will reimagine the character as a girl of East Asian descent. The series will also not have the Mystery Machine or Scooby-Doo starting out. Warner Media's Tom Asham, president of Warner Brothers Global Kids, Young Adults, and Classics, said about the show, quote, in a keynote address, "Not for children, but we have a Mindy Kaling project called Velma because she was excited to reimagine what Scooby-Doo would be like if Velma were of East Asian descent and lived in a different world. There's no dog, and there's no van, but we have our four key characters through a different lens, and I think it's great. So allowing our characters to play with our IP is super powerful. Creators to play with our IP." Unquote. The characters he is speaking about are, of course, Velma, Fred, Daphne, and Shaggy, but no Scooby, at least not yet. So, folks, instead of going on the internet and boo-hooing stuff, just wait until you have something visual, to boo-hoo. Don't just boo-hoo the idea. It might be good. It might be terrible. But we don't know yet. So, just wait. The popular game Roblox is being sued by the National Music Publishers Association for $200 million for allegedly using songs from numerous artists illegally. The suit alleges that Roblox used works by Ariana Grande, Imagine Dragons, Deadmau5, Ed Sheeran, and the Rolling Stones and others without compensating writers or copyright holders. Roblox has issued a statement saying that it will, quote, vigorously as we work to achieve a fair resolution. Now, with the music publishers, unquote. The company was founded in 2004 and went public earlier this year with a market capitalization of $52 billion. And I hold like a 30-cent share of Roblox, so yeah, just letting you know. New Line Cinema is returning to the world of Middle-earth, but this time it will be an animated Middle-earth. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, is being fast-tracked by Warner Brothers Animation and New Line Cinema. The stand-alone movie will depict the saga behind Helm's Deep, the fortress from The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Helm Hammerhand, the king of Rohan, who has spent much of his reign in a prolonged and costly war. Now, veteran anime filmmaker Kenji Kamiyama will direct from a screenplay by Jeffrey Addis and Will Matthews. Now, the project is intended to be connected to Peter Jackson's Rings trilogy, however, it is not connected to the Amazon series. Actor Frank Bonner has passed away. Now, Frank is best known for his role of sales manager Herb Tarlick on the sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati. He also acted in other shows like Mannix, Night Court, Just the 10 of Us, and the new WKRP in Cincinnati, and directed shows in the 80s and 90s like Who's the Boss, Have the Class, Newhart, and Saved by the Bell, The New Class, in which he also guest starred in 5 episodes. Now, Bonner was married 5 times, and he died on June 16th in Laguna Niguel, California, from complications from Lewy body dementia. He was 79 years old. And finally, we remember actor Ned Beatty. Born in July of 1937, Ned acted in more than 160 movies, including Deliverance, All the President's Men, Network, Superman, Back to School, Rudy, and Toy Story 3. Now, in his long career, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Network, 2 Emmy Awards, and an MTV Movie Award for Best Villain for Lotso in Toy Story 3, and a Golden Globe. His first film was in 1972's Deliverance, where his character of Bobby Tripp and friends end up going the wrong way and being a group of very rapey hillbillies. Now, other memorable roles include Lex Luthor's sidekick in Superman and Superman 2. Aw, gee, Mr. Luthor. Roles in The Incredible Shrinking Woman, The Toy, Stroker Ace, the 1990s version of Captain America, and much more. His final movie role was in Baggage Claim in 2013. Now, he also appeared on TV, showing up in episodes of Kojak, The Rockford Files, MASH, Murder, She Wrote, 6 episodes of Roseanne as Ed Connor, Dan's dad, and 33 appearances on Homicide, Life on the Street, as Stanley Bolander. His final role was on a 2013 episode of Go On. Ned Beatty died at his Los Angeles home on June 13th from natural causes. He was 83 years old. That brings us to the end of the comic book news. Now, be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute some financially to the show, check out the show notes, visit the TeePublic store, and much, much more. Head over to multiversetonight.com. And if you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends, like us, follow us, and more. And if you're brand new to the show, please be sure to subscribe, friend us, follow us, whatever. Just be sure to follow us, and if you'd like leave some feedback. Let me know how we're doing. Now, special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. Now, we'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new sci-fi and comic book edition. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions. Copyright 2021. All rights reserved. I smell bread. So that brings us to the end of the recording for today. Let's play around a little bit. Some 35mm film about censored beep. I could stroke my ego and uh-oh. I think we hit the bell. I should use that when I say follow or like and subscribe, shouldn't I? We also have the video game. This is Multiverse Tonight. I think he does it better. Also some music on here. This is Cinematic Drums. Incredulous Question. I think I should use this for promo music. What do you think? This is Get Out. Oh yeah, baby, let's get funky. Simply Invincible. Happy Groovy. And Upbeat Funky. Say, there's a lot you don't know. Let's give you a hand. Connecting your internet would be easy as 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I know. I should probably go to hell for that one, but it's just too easy. Anyway, thanks for indulging me. Thank you for being here. And if you listen to this later, thank you very much. Have a good day.